you will be able to see the visa exempt entry countries. Okay, the resident visa is what you would aim for once you have basically got your feet on the ground. Or Taiwan visitor visa, you can get here. That'll give you time to then look for a job. I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail. Hey everyone, Matt here from Discovering Asia, and today is an informational or informative video about how you can get to Taiwan to hopefully live and start your new life. Now, this video is linked in with another one, which you'll see in a link in the description, getting a teaching job in Taiwan. So it might be a good idea. I've released them both at the same time because they do complement each other. And it might be an idea if you haven't got such a profession to take a look at that video as well. So all of that is in the description. Without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Now, most of the information is available online. However, it's just finding the best sources for that information. So I'm going to take a rundown of how to literally start your journey to Taiwan and go through which visa you need, if any, and how you can go about turning said visa into residency. Now, as a disclaimer, I will go through a few things which I know have been done by people before. It's not to say that I condone it, but I'm just giving you some options of what people have done. But everything I'm showing you, especially from the official government website, are the steps which should be followed. The first thing to really start off on is your flight, okay? Now, in the past, I've used Skyscanner. I'm sure it's one of the most popular in the world because it is very competitive with a good selection of flights. I'm going to use the UK as an example because that's where I would be flying from. And I put in Taipei because Taipei would be the first port of call. And that's where most of the jobs are as well. So it's more straightforward going to Taipei. I put in any here, but it's normally Taipei Taiwan Airport, okay? Now, with the flight, you do have to show some kind of onward flight or some kind of return ticket, okay? I will go on to the next part after, which will show what kind of visa you can get. So some countries are eligible for 90 days free landing or visa exempt, okay? Which means you don't need a visa. You turn up and can stay for 90 days. But regardless of where you are from, what travel visa or tourist visa you have, or whether it's visa exempt or not, you will have to have an onward flight or proof that you are leaving the country after said allowed time. Now, you have a couple of options here. You can take an onward ticket. So after your 90 days, for example, if you're from the UK, you get 90 days visa exempt. You can get a single ticket to Taipei. Brilliant. So let's go through a single ticket now to Taipei, and let's just put August 23. Let's go starting from Wednesday, okay? And I've set it for one way. So this is a one-way ticket, okay? And look, just to save me scrolling through straight away from London, £357. That you can do the currency yourself. It's around 1.27 US dollar to £1. Manchester, £387. So I can get a single ticket from the UK to Taipei for this much, okay? So going back now, I would say you can get another single ticket after the 90 days ready to come back, but make sure in the terms and conditions that it is refundable. So you can just get a refund. Yes, you may have to pay a small excess fee. However, you do get it refunded. Some people do just show the itinerary like a fake ticket, but sometimes that doesn't work. Just to be sure, I would just get a ticket to, let's say, from Taipei to Manila, which is probably one of the cheapest onward countries which you can travel to. So for argument's sake, let's say August, September, October, let's say my 90 days is up and I would have to get an onward ticket to Manila from Taipei. Again, you can make it a return. A return ticket from Taipei to Manila, you're looking at £90, £100. So what's that? 124 US dollar. Okay. So that would be you exiting Taiwan, leaving your country, and then coming back into the country to renew your said visa exempt. Now, You will have to check with the links I'm going to provide you with. It may then only be a 60 days. I'm not sure you get another 90 days. However, if you are kind of job hunting, that would be another 30 or 60 days if needed, just to top up and extend your stay in Taipei whilst you're looking for a job. That's better than paying the full £380 or £350 to go back to the UK. If you just went over to Manila, maybe have a few days in Manila in the Philippines, and then come back to Taipei again. Okay, so that's one option I would suggest. Like I said, you can get a refundable ticket, but I would recommend just getting a single ticket to start with. But you do have to leave the country and show before you enter Taiwan that you have plans to already leave. And just in case, have an itinerary planned out as well. It's not like China or some of the other countries where you need to show a whole timetable, where you need to stay, etc. You will have to put down where you'll be living, or your hotel of stay, or if you're staying with a friend's address as well, just to satisfy the needs at the airport. But this is one of the better options. The next stop is boca.gov.tw, as in Taiwan. So BOCA, B-O-C-A, being the Bureau of Consular Affairs for the Republic of China, but it's not Republic of China, it's Taiwan. We are a country here, okay? So you can go to the BOCA website. I've added the link in the description below of this video, okay? And straight away, you will be able to see the visa exempt entry countries, okay? Look, now this video is basically for people who can get into the country to begin with, and this is just giving you the information you need depending on which country you're from. So straight away, you have the different options. The top options here are the ones who get 90 days on landing. So it's visa exempt for 90 days. Then you have number 2, which is 30 days, eligible for up to 30 days visa exempt. And then you have some condition ones with countries which Taiwan has government ties with, different official exemptions because they have some kind of work or student agreement between the countries. Okay, so make sure your country is on the list and how many days it does give you. But this is a government website, so this is the most reliable and effective website. Make sure you check it out. Don't use any other website unless it is another government source of information. So as you scroll through, it will give you all the countries, all your allowances, the duration of stay, and the rules which apply to them visas as well. Also, it mentions here ports of entry, which are all the airports and the different harbors as well. It also, just in case, check out the remarks at the bottom. For example, it says, number 1, those who have entered Taiwan visa-free for purposes that do not require a permit. Okay, so some reasons you do have to require a certain permit. For example, religious work. You need a different visa from the ROC, which is Republic of China, overseas mission before entering Taiwan. So if you do need a certain visa, let's say a student visa, you do actually have to have an application for your place in the university before you apply for the said visa. So that is boca.gov.tw. Again, the link is in the description in the information below this video. Onward from that is detailed information for the Taiwan resident visas, okay? So the resident visa is what you would aim for once you have basically got your feet on the ground, or if you're looking to change your tourist visa, or should I say visa exempt, into a different visa, okay? Now in Taiwan, we have something called an ARC, which is an alien resident certificate. So here's just mentioning some of the different ones you have. Resident visas for entrepreneurs. Okay, now this is quite a new one, as you can see, updated 27th of July 2023. And this has actually been made more positive in terms of entrepreneurs who want to come over to the country, which is kind of a new updated initiative by the government, which want to try and encourage entrepreneurs to come and start business within the Taiwan's economy as well. So it used to be, look, you needed a business visa, you needed a large lump sum to show that you can live and you can set up a business, but now the terms are more favorable. So if that's something you'd be interested, I'd recommend further reading here. And again, this is the boca.gov.Taiwan or TW website, again in the link in the description below. Also, you got the resident visas for minors, so this is parents and guardians, but looking at what you may be interested in, overseas Chinese students or Mandarin students, religious work, visas for spouses, but there are also, I'm just going on to now another website, visaguide.world. So the visaguide.world and the link again below in the description will be specifically focused on Taiwan. So it shows the Taiwan visitor visa here. Okay, so visitors looking for short-term stays of up to 90 days. Now, what I would say with this, the important part is getting to the country. Okay, if you want to make Taiwan your home or you want a job search, you have to first get to the country, because more often than not, it's easier to get a job in country. And I'm mainly talking about teaching jobs here, okay? Because the likelihood, and also look, if it's an international school, you may get recruited from outside of Taiwan. The likelihood is most of the jobs which are recruiting for, let's say, engineering or some kind of specialist from abroad is going to be done overseas already. And then that'll be all dealt with in-house by the organization, which will then send you across, pay for your flights, accommodation and whatnot. Okay. So Taiwan visitor visa, you can get here. That'll give you time to then look for a job. I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail. Taiwan resident visa, you got different resident visas. So once you get here, if you find employment, likelihood is, but not everyone does, if you're going to get a teaching job, they will get you an ARC. They will get you your resident visa, which will enable you to work in the country as well legally. Look, they are certain different regulations which are considered legal, not legal. Not everyone, again, rightly or wrongly, are working legally, not just in Taiwan, but in many countries in the world, especially Asia, okay? Some, again, I won't condone this, but some organizations might have you working, let's face it, illegally, and will have you just doing a visa run every 90 days, or whenever your visit visa is up, you have to leave the country and come back in. But look, that isn't going to give you peace of mind. So ideally, you do want employment, which will give you the peace of mind, the securities to be able to get your own resident visa, your own ARC. Then you got your Taiwan resident visa. So you got your work visa, okay, which is for foreigners who want to take up paid employment in a Taiwanese or a different company. Or in addition to the work visa, you'll also need a work permit, which kind of comes in hand. You get a student visa. So you may come here and think, you know what, I want to learn Mandarin. I want to get myself on a course. You can get yourself a student visa. However, it does state here, before applying, you must already be accepted into a school or university. Also, a student visa doesn't legally give you the ability to get legal work. Legally, again, rightly or wrongly, people do get jobs and get paid or internships well on a student program. Then you've got the Taiwan entrepreneur visa. You can actually get your ARC, so you can get residency with such a visa, the Taiwanese entrepreneur visa. Then you got a working holiday visa. So if you are aged between 18 to 30, you can get a visa which will allow you to work in Taiwan for 1 full year. And look, after that, the chances are you would have made enough connections, enough network to then either leave the country and come back with a job in place, or actually, you know what, already get hired and put onto a normal work visa residency ARC certificate, okay? And if you start working for a company, they want to keep you on past the year, okay? They may offer you a lower salary during that year, like an internship, and then they may give you a secure job after that year. Or you may have already had other job offers where you can just basically leave the country, come back in, and already have a job offer, okay? And get your tourist visa or your visa exempt stay, you know, turned into an ARC through the Taiwanese organization. Then you have a Taiwan digital nomad visa issued to foreign digital nomads who want to work remotely from Taiwan. So this is a really useful page. Like I said, it's in the link. Amazing information. This tells you everything you need to get yourself Taiwan, which is the first thing to do. So there are all the important websites you need, okay? All the information you need are in them links. Now, what I will say, I'll just give you some information on what I would do if I was in your situation. If I haven't got a job already arranged to go to, if I haven't got a company sponsoring me already, or if you're not part of a big global company which is sending you Taiwan and giving you all the nice expat perks, okay, you first have to get your feet in the ground. So get that flight, make sure you know if you're on a visa exempt how many days you have, and look for your official rights. So nobody can deny you anything. It's in black and white from the government, okay? Make sure your passport is up to date. Make sure you qualify for everything what's needed on the government list as well. Once you're here, it's up to you. If you want to do a bit of traveling and do some networking, great, do that. Remember, you will have to leave the country at the end of your visa exempt period, or your tourist visa. You'll also have to leave the country as well. Now, look, I wouldn't be comfortable doing that because you don't feel secure. But, you know, you could find a job within them 30 days, within them 60 or 90 days. Okay, great. Just make sure that, you know, you are with as trustworthy as possible in terms of employer. Okay, some employers like to take advantage of people that want to stay here and make some money. Okay, and they send them on visa runs. People do it. That's just a reality. I wouldn't recommend it, okay? And if you get caught, you will be fined, you will be deported, you could be blacklisted. It is done, though. Or you can find a job while you're here, teaching job, like I said. The link to the other video I have put out live alongside this video is talking about how to get a teaching job, what to do through the interview, what to expect in terms of salary and opportunities in the country as well, okay? So that is what you need to do. And look, it's not really different to most of the countries, apart from the countries which are pretty much locked down, and you do need a job offer, okay? You first need to be here. You're more than likely going to get a job offer by actually being here because you're less of a risk, okay? You're not organizing an interview online and then moving to Taiwan for the first time ever. You've never been to Asia before. After 1 week, you're running away. That is a risk. Companies don't want to risk paying for all the papers needed to get you residency and a work permit for you to run away after 1 week. So that's why some companies, you can't blame them, are a little bit hesitant. You know, they are a little bit nervous and they are a little bit unsure about foreign workers, about their intentions, okay, about whether or not they're reliable and whether they're worth the investment in terms of putting them through all the papers for residency and the work permit as well. Okay, so I can see it from both sides. We have to feel safe, but at the same time, the company needs to protect themselves as well. Okay, so put yourself in their shoes and try and do what's right by them, and they will do their best. Hopefully, the good employers will do what's right by you. So if you need to, make sure you got that return ticket or that onward ticket, okay? So I would just go to Manila for £100, 124, 125 US dollar, okay? And then you're ready to come back. You may end up getting a job in Manila, but the likelihood is you have found something which you're probably looking at, but you need to leave again and come back. Or you can get an extension and your prospective employer might have you to get an extension, or they may already, you know, have plans to turn it into a work permit, a resident visa, but you still have to leave the country and come back in for that reason because you'll have a proper invitation. So check out all the links. I don't need to carry on now talking and putting a load of fluff around that. These are the main things you need to know. I've given you a little bit of insight of how the system works and what people are doing in the country. Make sure you know all the regulations for your country, the allotted amount of stay that you are allowed to stay in the country for, and take it from there. Get that flight, make sure you got the flight out of the country, find accommodation, maybe start networking and getting some interviews done as well. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for watching. Check out if you are interested in getting, you know, a job, which there are plenty of opportunities around the country for English teaching or PE teaching or sport teaching or science teaching or some kind of teaching in Taiwan. Make sure you check out the other video in the link. Take care. Stay safe.